Right now I'm recording. If for the 10 people that watch this, you missed the first 20 minutes, but you'll be fine. Uh, you're in the conversation with Gatsat Finley. You're talking about uh, how he can better like balance the ship. He's kind of listening to you. At first, he was sort of combative, but he slowly is like, "Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about." He's kind of sitting like, "Oh yeah, like, that's a not a bad idea." And you both hear just a loud explosion, this massive boom, and then this strange like creaking and groaning, and then this like you feel a wave. It kind of pushes you just a smidge. Your clothes rustle, some of the stuff in the shop shakes, and then a moment later you get pulled back as the wave pulls back in, and then you start to hear shit hit the roof. You see some like flaming debris start like clattering into uh, the yard of the um, warehouse here. You start hearing people like yelling and screaming. You see some people like kind of pointing in the direction of the docks. Um, what do you do? That's you, Leopold.
Oh, sorry. Kind of connection kind of comes and goes every now and then. I'm trying to figure out if it's on my end or not.
My Wi-Fi
Uh,
has not dropped yet, but it could be me because that happens sometimes.
well, today has not been a great day for me, so it's all good. Could be my luck. Uh, so
Sorry to hear that. Hopefully it gets better right now, but it probably won't.
optimistic there, huh? You said I'm like, so where the Nomad was docked, I'm to the right,
You're to the left.
to
You
the
are down the
left.
street to the left. You are maybe like 300. So you're not that well. It's probably farther than that. I'm gonna say you're like you're like a quarter of a football field away or something. You're not that far away. It's within like you'd be able to like go outside of the shop, kind of get a little bit of a vantage point. You'd be able to see it pretty much just by walking outside of um, the yard that you're in here, the warehouse yard that you're sort of in right now.
Does he see the Nomad visually like destroyed up in flames, just tattered?
When you walk out of the factory, out of the warehouse, you and
Oh,
Gazhack kind of look at each other. You feel that wave. Gazhack, he gets knocked kind of down. You're like, you're a full size person. He's a little guy. He was kind of standing on a stool, so he falls down. He kind of hits his ass. So, oh, what the hell is that? And then he turns and he goes and like walks out. Everybody's panicking. He goes out into the yard and like maybe you walk behind him. You're maybe you have a sense of like impending doom. That'd be up to you. And as you guys get the vantage point into the road and you look down, you can see the flames. You would see. Give me a perception check.
okay. I can do that with this character. I can definitely do that with this character. 25.
Okay. So you would see an unconscious Avriel who has been kind of blasted back. He's in the middle of the road, and you would see Titus, who is like now kind of getting to his feet, and he is walking over to Avriel, kind of in a stupor a little bit. That'd be like the very first thing you would see, and then as you kind of take in the scene in front of you, you would see just a hole. I mean, just the nomad is just gone, and a large portion of the dock where it was is just like cleanly shaven. Like it's not like you know like there was some type of wave that just kind of absorbed any matter that it touched, and it's just gone. Um, and then you would see the fire and the chaos of the dock, injured dock hands. So at 25, um, you would see uh, at this point you would see Damien throw the captain. You would see the captain kind of like hit the dock and kind of like slide across. He doesn't quite reach the road you're on. He's probably about like 100 feet away on his landing. Damien's another like 100. He's like 130 feet away. And then you would kind of look up and you would see the tower falling onto Damien. is there anything that your character can do about that?
It. That depends. Will you allow me to burn an action surge to do a lot of shit?
Maybe there's going to be other rolls. We'll see how it goes.
Okay,
But
I
I
can
would
go
allow you
full.
to burn an action surge, and then we can do some rolls to see how well you managed.
I can go like full fucking Batman here. Well, since the tag along is fucking asleep, does he look like he's on death's door?
You talking Avriel?
Yeah. I
He's
swear I'm
surely
getting
unconscious. He's unconscious. He's not like in immediate danger, and Titus is walking towards him. Whether or not it would be hard on a 25. I think you'd be able to. 25 is pretty high, so I would say that you would know that he's breathing.
Okay. Well, as long as he's breathing, just kind of look at Titus and like point towards Titus and point towards him, like you take care of him while I go do this. Yeah, Leovel's just gonna charge towards the scene. Once he gets in, you didn't give me a range for my specialty shit.
Hold on, let me check the. Because I thought that the you talking about the grappling hook.
Well, that, but I'm also talking about like other things too, like the restore powder or the blasting cap. I don't have a like
You
a
should be able
range
to
that I can
calculate.
launch it.
You should be able to just calculate throw distance.
Throw distance.
Yeah, if it's a throwing thing, the grappling hook I thought I included.
You did. Yeah, you did. It's 45-foot straight line.
So I would say that these would count as improvised weapons effectively if you were going to throw one of these things. So the normal range would be 20 feet and a long range would be 60 feet.
All right. Well, I'll do long range for the restore powder on the captain. Just takes a ball, presses down on a button, and just hurls it with what little strength he has behind him to try and get in the vicinity because it is a 10-foot radius.
All right, so give me a athletics check for that.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's a 14.
That's pretty good. So you don't land it like on him.
That's fine.
But you land it within that 10-foot vicinity, and it kind of falls like 5 feet away from him, and then it kind of clatters a bit, and you for a second like, oh shit. But it does manage. It gets kind of stuck on one of the creases in the concrete pads that make up a portion of the dock. Stops rolling, and it's probably about 6 or 7 feet away from him as it then pops, and the material that's inside begins to spread. And it's not gonna. It doesn't like land on top of him, and then immediately he gets it. But in the next couple of seconds, he's going to inhale that, and he'll immediately get like a burst of energy.
All right. As he's running his 30 feet, since I already did that, if he gets within range of Damien, he will definitely try to pull him towards himself with one of his hooks.
What's the range of the grappling hook?
45 straight line.
What's your movement? 35?
30.
30. Are you able to dash, action surge, shoot it?
By action surge? Yes, I'll be able to. By action surge.
So the thing you threw, is that a bonus action?
I believe so.
I think it is too, but I'm not 100%. For now, let's not worry about that too much. Let's not worry about it for right now. We'll check after. You run forward. Your adrenaline's pumping. You toss this thing. You keep running as fast as you can. You reach into your belt. You pull out your grappling hook. Point, shoot. Give me an attack roll. You aren't going to be within the 45-foot range. I'm still going to allow you to take the shot.
Okay.
Do I want it to be at disadvantage? Um, the rules of the game, because you're not in the range, and technically this thing has a 45-foot
I
range.
rolled both just in case.
Okay, what'd you get?
First one was a 16.
Uh-oh.
Second roll was a natural 20.
No shit. Okay, cool.
But I didn't add any modifiers.
16 plus stuff.
Yeah. So if
So what is
it's
that?
like with a pistol that isn't a magic weapon, it's 16 plus 8.
Okay, so you shoot it. It hits Damien. Actually, because the grappling hook doesn't do damage.
Oh, it does.
It does do damage.
1d8 plus 1 bludgeoning damage. It becomes
Can it
grappled.
pull people towards you, or does it pull you to them? So I think it makes them just grappled. But I think in this instance, functionally, because this is what I'm going to say, Damien.
It says the grappling immediately retracts after attaching to a structure or creature, but he has to save. He has to give me a strength saving throw against my DC.
Well, unless I would say that, like in this instance, he would allow you to pull him. Probably.
I think I'd just be knocked out because I only had 1 health anyway. So I think you can just drag me.
I'm getting there.
Oh.
Damien, you have to give me. I'm gonna say, because I feel like this is in athletics. I'm gonna say this is like either sleight of hand or acrobatics. Acrobatics seems like a long shot. I'm gonna say first thing. Okay, this is gonna be 2 different rolls. The first one's gonna be perception. So give me a perception check.
Man, Gunslinger's complicated.
Damien, this is for Damien. You have to give me a perception check.
Not the greatest roll. I have a good modifier. I got an 11.
So you don't even see it. You're like 2 feet. You just threw the captain. You're like turning, and you see the crane coming down on you when you suddenly feel something hit you in the chest. So Leopold, he has 1 point of HP. So Damien, you do go unconscious as you were struck in the chest by something, and you just feel yourself all of a sudden, like you kind of start blacking out as you just feel yourself being just pulled, and then you're done. You're out. So Leopold, you do manage to run forward, put your grappling hook up, shoot it, and it just strikes Damien in the chest, and then begins to retract as it pulls him. As you just manage to get him out of range, as the crane topples down, crashes, fire spreads out, and Damien's unconscious body just kind of like arms back behind him, chest out, legs kind of flailing, comes flying towards you at pretty fast speed. You also need to give me a Leopold an athletics check.
Oh, I didn't think
Or actually strength, or it could be a strength saving throw.
I'll do a strength save, so that's a higher number. Only by 2.
Hey, makes a difference.
Yeah, it does, since that's a 14.
So he comes flying towards you, and as he gets just close enough, you kind of open up, and you do manage to kind of catch him. You don't take it super great, but you don't take it that bad either as his body slams into you. You manage to catch him. You kind of slide back, and then you do kind of fall back onto your ass and kind of bounce across the street just a smidge. You just take a little bit of falling damage. 3 points of falling damage. He is unconscious, but not dead. And then in the chaos, you do kind of hear the captain cough, and you see him kind of put his hands down, and he starts to pull himself up. A Darren and Alyssa.
Yes.
You guys were heading over. You were kind of making your way back towards the docks. You were going to go to one of the inns here in Grand Rise. When you suddenly heard an explosion and began to hear the chaos. And you kind of looked over and you were with kind of like this like strange kind of plume of blue energy. And I feel like a Darren, like your stomach might have immediately sank as the crowd of people that's in this sort of market row is kind of rushing in your guys' direction. People start, chaos just pops off. People are pushing, running. What do you two do?
Do I know it's the ship? Or like
Give me an insight check.
I'm not great at that. That's a 19, so 21.
Yeah, you're pretty. You have like this. Your gut kind of drops, and you have this like. You just kind of know.
I think I'm gonna. Honestly, I think Adair would like just take off running. She'd be like, the ship, they were attacking the ship, and is just gonna like sprint towards it.
I'll go with her.
You two start running. You're trying to get through the crowd. Give me a dexterity saving throw, both of you.
Okay. What is 22?
Pretty good.
Give me a second. One second. Wait for it. 20. Dirty 20.
Both of you manage to pretty deftly, maybe as your adrenaline kicks in, perhaps for Darren as your adrenaline kicks in, and maybe for Alyssa, just sort of your
Natural
knack.
talent.
You're used to this sort of chaos. You've been in the city. You've probably seen other crazy shit go down every once in a while. You've dealt with a mob rush. And you
Gotta be
manage to
first
kind
on
of
scene.
yeah. I gotta get this. Even though you're not a reporter, you both managed to weasel your way through the crowd pretty deftly as you make your way towards the docks. As you're moving, both of you give me a perception check. I do think it's going to be lower for Alyssa than it will be for Darren.
Alright, I'm gonna add guidance to this. That's good because I didn't roll great.
Ooh, Alyssa, I do allow bardic inspiration and guidance in role play, not in combat, to be used as a reaction. For the record, if you ever want, you can give yourself bardic inspiration as a reaction to enhance the dice roll for checks and stuff.
All right. Well, I got a 5. I'm just gonna let you perceive for a while.
I'm not great at it. I'll try.
Darren, as you're actually, ironically, you are, Alyssa had a lower thing, but you're the one who managed to see it. As you're both running, there is a small alleyway that runs between some of the buildings. All of the buildings have like small, alleyways are just big enough for like one person. Some of them are a little bit wider, but a lot of them are just big enough for like one person to squeeze through. And as you're sprinting towards the ship out of the corner of your eye, you manage to see a person in like a long black kind of coat, trench coat, robe with a hood up. And they kind of, for some reason, the way they are like very calmly walking away, and something on their belt, they have like some sort of like a tool belt or something. And there is like a glint that kind of catches your eye and pulls your attention to them for a moment. And something about them just kind of strikes you as odd.
Are they walking away from us?
You don't see it, Alyssa. Darren,
Right.
They are walking away from you, for the record, for Darren's purposes. They are moving down the alleyway. They are it looks like they have maybe just rounded the corner into this alleyway, or perhaps they were waiting at the end of the alleyway, and they have just turned around and they are now walking down the alleyway. But Darren would have to choose to either, she might want to communicate that to you, or she might be too panicked, or she might just be rushing towards the ship. She might, that'd be it's up to her, because you don't see it, unfortunately.
I think she'd like mumble kind of incoherently But if so did we go to third level? Is that,
You didn't. I don't. I don't think we
I don't
did.
remember. I thought we had talked
I
about
thought we
it.
did.
Did we go to third level? Did I say third level? Because we did 2 sessions. Yeah, you're right. We did go to level 3 last session. We did go to level 3. Because we technically had a combat and it technically had been enough sessions. I thought an explosion was good enough excuse.
Like, you're about to be traumatized. It's fine. Then I would this would be the first time using this spell because it's a second level spell. I think she kind of like instinctually is like she doesn't want to stop, but she doesn't necessarily want this guy to get away. If he's within 90 feet, we'll cast Vortex Warp, which I can move him 90 feet within my like range.
Okay. So what's he got to do? Is that a con dex?
Yeah, it is a con save. 14.
Oh, he got a natural 20. This son of a bitch. As you cast the spell, and however that looks, you can kind of decide for yourself. If you'd like to narrate it, you can. But you cast this spell, and your magic kind of leaves your body, and it begins moving to him. And as it gets in his range, you see a flash from his belt, and the magic just kind of dissipates. And for a brief moment, you can see a flash of some sort of like invisible ward around him. There's like a brief, like almost like a shield spell, sort of, that seems to be around him. It just briefly flashes with like a bright blue energy, and then it goes back to being invisible. You do see him as that goes off. You do see him or her, the record. His head turns, and you can see a little bit of the profile. And I'll say at this point, Alyssa and Give me, you can both do another perception check as your attention is now drawn. Alyssa, you saw the magic go off. You'd look in that direction to see what she's casting spells at.
That's 15.
Perception. It's going really slowly for some reason. I don't know why.
Is that D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate D&D Beyond.
Totally chugging. It's never done that before. I don't think I'm going to get this even with Bardic Inspiration, so I'm not going to do it. 8.
Not your day today.
Not in terms of perception, no. I'm very focused on the giant explosion, which I think is fair.
I think that's fair too. And there's a lot of chaos going on around your character. You do look, and there are just like there's people rushing by. You're still kind of thinking about like there's like fire, there's people screaming, there's a guy, my leg! Like, Aaron, what'd you get? You got a 15?
Mm-hmm.
As you look over, still kind of in a full sprint, this is all happening in a matter of like a couple seconds. He does kind of turn his head back. He or she turns their head back, and you can see that they aren't. Their skin has like a metallic glint, and you can see where their eye is kind of like this really bright blue, almost like etheric color. And then they turn and then they start running, and they are fast. They now no longer walking. They felt that spell. Something dissipated your magic. You see this like kind of strange, almost, or it was either like a mask or some sort of like a human face, and then they go into a sprint and they take off quickly. They kind of disappear down that alleyway and very rapidly and with like great dexterity make a sharp turn, and they're gone.
Yeah, I think Darren is like, there's a curious side of her, but there's just the like wild panic of like set her home essentially. Really, the only home she's ever known is potentially.
It's okay. 100% I did not expect you to chase this person, but I got to set up all the pieces.
Alyssa is already like 50 feet ahead of you, having not seen any of this.
You guys managed to run into the edge of like the market row here. so that you're at like the foot of the docks, and you come in right as you see the crane fall and kind of burst into flame. Pieces go
Holy
scattering.
shit.
There are like injured deckhands. There are people that are like just laying that look like they are possibly unconscious or dead. And then there's, people that are just kind of panicking, trying to be helpful, but are maybe like in a state of shock. There's people like staggering about the area, and your ship is just gone. The Nomad has disappeared, and there's a large swath of the deck or the dock where your ship sat. That is just this like clean circle, the sphere area that is just eradicated. You don't see. You see that crane has fallen, and the flames, and you see the explosion. But you don't see any of your people.
I think that Darren would like fully like trip up, like see this, like it just fully shocked and like devastated and like not stopping, but also not being able to like physically stop herself because she's like at a full sprint.
Where do you like literally trip? Like you literally fall
Oh
on the
yeah,
ground?
I think she would like literally trip over herself.
You run. You see this. You don't see any of your people. Panic sets in. You're trying to run, and you kind of just get caught up in the panic, in the momentum, and you just kind of fall onto the ground. As you are on the ground, you look up and you just see all of the devastation that has been wrought here at the whole port.
Alythra will help her up. Like, are you okay?
No.
Oh, yeah. I probably shouldn't have asked that.
It's okay. It's okay. I need to find the crew. I need to see if anybody's left.
What are other people around us doing? Like, are they running away?
There are people that are like running away. There is a injured deckhand who is like crawling backwards towards your direction, who is missing a leg. There are a few people that are just kind of lying across the ground in various states of injured. The dude without the leg seems to have it the worst, but he's still going, so maybe he's fine. And then, yeah, I mean, besides that, there's a general. At this point, you're late enough to the party that a lot of everybody has kind of managed, for the most part, to have fled the immediate area.
I'm kind of
The people that are
familiar
here
with
are
this
just
area.
injured.
So, do I see anyone that I know?
Give me a history check.
Oh, come on. That will be a 6.
In all of the chaos and all of the people that are here, a lot of them are these dock workers. They're all kind of in like similar garb, and a lot of them are like lying down. A lot of them are like either on their stomach, or they have like they are burned. They are like covered in soot. You don't. They all kind of just look. They all kind of look the same to you almost in this moment. They're just injured people. Sort
I'm
of.
just completely frazzled. I have no clue what's going on. Great.
Leovold. You successfully manage to pull Damien towards you. You're on your ass. The captain manages to pull himself to his feet. Now the crane kind of sitting behind him about 20, 30 feet. And he stands up and he turns sort of like dazedly. You can see where his body's just sort of like swinging. And he turns and he's looking at everything, and he just kind of falls down onto his knees and then like onto his hands. And he's just kind of sitting there. Hey, he's alive, though, which is good. Damien's still unconscious. Avriel's still unconscious. Titus has picked up Avriel, and he starts carrying him back towards Guy's Hat's project over his shoulder, kind of princess carrying him. And Titus is at this point, he looks like he's gotten a little bit sturdier on his feet.
Well, shit. Can I do a medicine check to try and stabilize Damien?
Yeah. Give it a shot.
It's not good. Odds are not in favor. That's a
You got
9.
Plus stuff or in total?
That's a total, my man.
I'm
Oh,
assuming
know
I
shit
can't give
about-
him bardic inspiration because I don't know where he is.
no, you can't right now, unfortunately.
See if
And
you
you
got
guys can double up
English
that, so you can you can do Bardic Inspire and Guidance if you could see him, which you can. But that's just reiterating that change of the rules.
Shoot him.
You're now like on the ground. You kind of lay him down and you kind of try to assess his injuries. He doesn't really look that badly injured. Like it looks like he may kind of. He's not like burning. He's not broken bones or anything. He seems like he's maybe okay for the time being. I'm actually gonna see if that's true. But you don't see anything that's immediately wrong with him. Like he looks okay, and he's still at this point breathing. But you're not able to stabilize him. You're not even able to tell how he's injured. You're not even able to tell like what exactly the injury is that you'd have to stop. You fear that like maybe it could be like internal, like he could have some type of internal issues going on, but you can't see it. He's not right now.
Fuck. Just yell over to Titus. Can you pick this one up too?
He turns around. He says, "Okay," and then he gets Avriel like close enough to he gets him like far enough away. He walks like 10 feet forward, puts in Avriel, starts walking back over to you, and then he kind of shakes his head, starts to kind of jog a little bit. He goes over, he picks up Damien, starts walking back to the garage. And then he goes over and he sets Damien down next to Avriel, and he says, and he kind of jogs back over to you, and he says, "Is there anything else I should be doing?"
I don't fucking know. Go help. Collect. Fuck. Shit.
Yeah, I'll go carry some dock workers. You seem
Yeah,
frustrated.
go do that.
And
I'm
he
gonna
jogs
look
away.
in this warehouse garage area for anything that looks medicinal, or I could like maybe like
Give me a perception check.
quick tinker something into some medicinal shit.
Give me a perception check quickly. This isn't for
Okay.
this. Could be. This might go to the warehouse, but it could also do something else. I'll tell
So 15 on the die, so 20.
Check my notes here real quick, because there is actually a.
Potion of supreme healing.
No, it's not that, unfortunately. There might.
That would be overkill. I wouldn't even waste it. I'd be like, nah, we get a new character.
Yeah, he's not worth it.
He doesn't even know I stole the alcohol yet, too. So
I mean, this wouldn't be the
Let
first
the
time
fucker
we
die.
know one of Connor's characters.
hey, Shelly's coming, man. It's destiny at this point. It's bound to happen.
Don't worry. Eventually, Leopold will shoot Damien.
As you take in the area around you, you see that a few buildings down across the street from the warehouse, there is a sign hanging down, and you can't read the words right now, and you're just kind of trying. You're like you're in a bit of a state of panic. You're taking in a lot of information all at once, but you can see just a symbol of like kind of like a witch's pot. Like a big kettle, and it has like a stick coming out of it, like the logo kind of. It just looks like some sort of like brewing thing, and it looks like it's like maybe a potion shop or an alchemy shop or something. And instead of heading over to Gaz Hats, and Gaz Hats now outside, he is just like yelling at nothing. He's just kind of panicked. He's just in a panic. He's no help whatsoever. You jog down the street. You get in front of this shop. You can look in through the big glass pane windows in the front, and you can see that it is indeed like a potion shop of sorts. It looks like it is like locked, but it's got these huge glass windows, and the door itself too doesn't look. It's just a wooden door with like a pretty big glass pane in it.
He takes the end of his blunderbuss and just busts the glass.
It won't make you roll for it. It's just glass. You just shatter the glass. It's a big window, and it comes down pretty low to the point where when you smash it and kind of real quickly, just kind of bring your gun around it, kind of clean it out, you're able to just kind of step right through into the shop. And a person pops up over the in the back. There's like a counter, and you see what looks like the top of a female's head, blonde hair, kind of frazzly kind of hair that kind of comes up in this like really messy bun, and these glasses. She said, "Get out of my shop! What's going on outside?"
Just, all right. I ain't got time to fucking explain, but I need something right now. Otherwise, 2 of my friends are gonna fucking die, and I will come back and I swear to you, I'll pay for everything, but I need it right fucking now.
I'm gonna roll 2 different things because this lady's freaking out. She rolled pretty good. Okay, so as she pops up over the thing, and you say this, she kind of clumps down and she and she kind of runs out from behind the counter and she starts kind of rifling through things. A couple things fall and clatter to the ground. Something shatters, and then she moves some stuff aside and she grabs something and she hands it to you, and it's a little tincture. And that should be enough for the both of them. Don't worry about paying me. Just get out.
Thank you so much, Mama. Promise I'll pay you, all right? And he's just gonna run like full sprint, baseball sliding to both of them, and apply. Does it look like it would be given orally or like just rubbed in like Vicks Vapor Rub?
It is just. It looks like it's a possibly a lesser or maybe a slightly stronger health potion. So it's oral.
Okay. Go over there and make both of them chug it.
You grab Avriel, you kind of feed it into him.
All right, you fucking depressing bastard.
He coughs and he rolls over and he's just like,
I'll probably ruin your life right now, aren't I? Just keeping you alive.
You grab Damien by the back of the head, kind of pop his head up a little bit, get the tincture in there. It goes down his throat, and you put his head down, and he just it just falls back to the ground. You put your hands on him, you check, he's dead.
You said it'd work. Work on both of them. There's no way I fucking killed him.
Yeah, you did kill him. You killed him. That's cool.
Leopold just starts beating on his chest, like fucking wake up.
You start hitting on his chest.
It's not very hard.
Give me a luck. Just give me a straight up D20, no modifiers or nothing. We'll let the dice decide.
Okay. 18.
You feed that tincture down his throat. You start slamming on his chest. You keep slamming like 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 15 seconds. You start getting a little bit desperate. You kind of stop for a second. You're kind of tired. And you kind of two-hand it and you hit him real hard. And David pops back up. Eyes wide. Looks at you like all startled.
He just like falls back from Damien, like scuttles.
Oh, what the fuck happened?
Isn't our ship fucking blowing up enough for one day? You had to fucking go and like give me a heart attack.
Wait, what just happened? Did the crane end up falling on me?
Not exactly. Long story. I saved you. It's a very long story, but you gave me a fucking heart attack there in the end. How you feeling? You like Can you move? You dazed, confused, what?
I'm not feeling too great right now, but I've recovered pretty quickly. I think I'll be good.
All right, well, I don't know where any of the other fucking people are. I've only been able to see you two, and last I checked, and he remembers the captain kind of like getting himself up. He looks down the street. Do I see that scene still, or like he gone?
The captain has now stood up. He turns, he sees you guys, he turns back to the scene, and then he turns and he starts walking towards you guys. Lesser and Darren. As you guys, the crane has taken up a big portion of the space. It's now like, it's flaming, it's smoking. The flames are beginning to dwindle. Clarity still isn't super high. What do you do in the immediate? You don't see your crew. Lister, you don't see the people that you just barely met, but like you don't see them either. What are your immediate? Do you go to help deckhands? Do you start like kind of investigating the area? Do you?
Yeah, I
Try.
look around the area and ask anyone who's even slightly nearby what the hell happened.
You kind of go over to one of the there's a deckhand who is kind of leaned on some barrels. He's just kind of looking at the ground. He's kind of struck, like his eyes are like real wide, but he's like the only person who looks to be like even like really like remotely conscious besides that dude without a leg. And you go over
I
to
should really do something about that guy.
he's just screaming and crawling away and everybody's fucking ignoring him.
Does
You walk
cure
over.
wounds regrow a leg?
No,
Oh.
absolutely not. Yeah, like I can't help that guy. That guy's got it figured out. You kind of come over to this guy and ask him what the hell happened, and he is looking down. And he says, "It blew up." It
Well,
blew
I
up."
can see that.
He looks up at you. He blinks a couple times. He says, yeah, it blew up. Big blue explosion. Blew
Did
up.
anything happen right before it? Did you notice anything?
Yeah, a bunch of other stuff blew up.
What other stuff blew up?
There was like a boom, 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 and then big boom. A bunch of
Oh.
explosions.
God, this is me if I ever have to get interrogated for a crime scene.
Where did the smaller trail of explosions come from?
Over on the other side of the dock, there were some barrels. They exploded, and then that explosion made other stuff, and then just boom, 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 and then boom.
All right. Thank you. Are you okay?
He looks down, and you weren't able to tell. You've been rolling about on perception. His leg's backwards. And he looks up at you and he says, "Yeah, I think so."
Does cure wounds rearrange a leg to the correct position?
I feel like you gotta set it and then do cure wounds.
That would be
Or
a
you
medicine
cure wounds it,
check, which
he
I am
learns
not
how to walk
qualified
again.
for.
You gonna cure wounds him? Do you cure wounds him? His leg? He says, "Yeah." He looks down at himself. It looks like he doesn't realize, but he's leaning on these boxes in
Oh.
this state of obvious shock, and he looks down at himself. Yeah.
I'm totally fine.
Sure, I'll cure wounds him.
You kind of put a hand on him. You just, however, your magic kind of in this instance presents itself. It kind of goes through his body. You hear some pops, and he looks down and goes, and then he falls down on the ground and he starts just holding his leg and he's just screaming. And now he's just the sudden pain you gave him kind of shocked him back out of his state of shock, and now he's aware
Okay, I
of
was
that.
trying to
twisted
help,
leg, and
okay?
he's on the ground. And I'm trying to, and he just looks up at you, and he looks back down, and this guy's now freaking out.
You'll feel better later, I promise. Probably. have anything else I can do here. Okay, good talk. Thank you.
Yeah. He lays back
Like
down,
kind of like
nods,
looking
he's
around to
he's
see
got
if
his leg
anyone's
up.
like watching.
He's got his leg up, his foot's backwards. But yeah, that guy's. You did what you could, you know. I mean,
I tried.
what else are you supposed to do for this guy? I don't know. What do
I'm
you
not a
want from me?
doctor.
I'm a fucking bard. I sing songs. I don't know how to fix your leg.
I could pretend to be a doctor, but I don't think that would be helpful in this situation.
I think
That would have
I
been
just
funny as
same
hell.
thing.
Actually, that would have been hilarious, though.
Oh yeah, I actually
I'm a
wanted
doctor.
to ask you something. I have 3 costumes. Can I decide what the costumes are, like, as they're needed, or do I decide, like, all 3 ahead of time?
I think you'd have to, like, in this instance, like right now, you'd have to commit to what those costumes are, and then in the future, you could change one of the costumes for a different costume, like during a long rest, probably. You couldn't
Okay.
change all 3 at the same time, so I would say like one costume as part of a long rest, and or you can use like downtime, like if you went shopping and
Okay.
bought other costumes or something like that.
All right.
I think Darren is gonna go closer to where the ship was and just try to look for the crew, try to look for anybody that she knows.
You walk
follow.
over
I don't
to where
wanna
the ship
lose
was.
sight.
And Alyssa, you see her walking over to where the ship once was, and you kind of look back to where that can told you the initial explosions were. Then you see a Darren walking, and you decide like I'm gonna go deal with this first. And you start walking over to where Darren is walking. Darren, as you make your way towards the ship, give me a perception check, and Alyssa can do one too.
I'm gonna add guidance to this beforehand. Oh, that's so bad. Hold on. I'm gonna do my the thingamajig with the watch.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me play it back up. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Is that okay? No, I thought that was a 1 for a minute.
What are you trying to do?
Not a perception check. 13.
13's not bad. Alyssa, what did you get?
Oh, was I supposed to roll? Sorry.
You can roll. You don't have to. I feel like you're.
No,
We could commit to the bid that your character does not know what the hell's going on.
All right, I'm just gonna stop. Wait, no. Okay. Dirty 20.
Okay, all right. So, Alyssa, you didn't actually see this person before, but they would stand out probably because they are an Aarakocra. So, hold on a second, let me see who this is. Let me do this description, and then I have to call this person back. We'll take a 5, or I'll go get some more water. Because I have a flight tomorrow, and this person's riding me, so they're probably calling me to make sure everything's still on task. You see an Aarakocra. They are sitting at the edge of, like, there is the. Let me go to my thing here and get my light. Where the ship is in the map, but where the ship once was, like a collection of shops over here. There's now like a big hole, so there's just like these blocks would be just like gone. Like this whole space would just be this big circular, just missing area. I won't go ahead and necessarily commit to deleting all this right now, but all this stuff would be just destroyed by the etheric explosion that happened. But there is an Aarakocra kind of sitting on the edge with his legs dangling out into the sky, head kind of tucked down, and he's got some burns on him, and he has like kind of nice clothing on. He has like this purple sort of sash over him, and he kind of stands out. But I think both of you, Darren and Alyssa, both see him. Alyssa, you see this like black, almost like a starry night I don't want to call it a portal necessarily, but this like strange distortion appear over on this side, and a woman in like a purple dress with this one golden sort of pauldron on one side that has this like spike coming up, and there's a gem dangling from it, and then she has like this big staff that looks like a globe, and this like half elven boy in this red coat who's carrying like a whole bunch of stuff in his arms. Both just kind of appear. They materialize out of this muddled sort of starry night sky distortion on the other side. Very, very strange, I would say, for your character to see that. I mean, yeah, I would say.
Did I see this portal appear, or was it just there when I looked over?
You would look over and you would see it kind of in the process of forming. So at first it would look kind of like a black, like almost like just like a floating puddle, and then it would have gotten wider until it became focused, and then you would be able to see like stars. It looks like a night sky. You'd see like these like bright lights inside of it, and then these two people walk out. This like white-haired woman in this purple dress, this big globe staff, and this younger half-elven sort of boy in this red coat.
All right, I am trying not to run, but somewhat failing. So I'm kind of like walking and like breaking into a run, walking again, and I'm gonna go over to them.
Darren, what do you do?
I think at first she's gonna like see Hetaru. That's his name, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I think she's gonna yell his name, but then I think if she sees Alyssa kind of moving over, would
You see Alyssa go, kind of get her attention drawn. You look over at Alyssa and see her, her focus, and then you look in that direction. You would see it as well.
Alright, so I think she's gonna yell Hetaru's name, Hetaru! And then she's gonna see that she's like, Nettie! And it's gonna like fully take off towards Nettie.
You don't see what happens with Hetaru. As you look over, you see Nettie, and you yell out, and you and Alyssa start running in that direction.
Wait, you know her?
Yes! Oh my god, I thought they were dead. I don't know. Nettie, she's alive. She's alive, yes, I know her. I
Was
know
she
her.
on the ship?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
You start running over to Nettie. She walks over and she stops like about here. She leans against the wall and kind of slides down it, and she has her knees up against her chest. And her assistant kind of sees you, hears you yell, and kind of runs over to you and kind of he greets you, sort of. And he says, Nettie's worn out.
Is she hurt? Does she need healing?
No, we were able to go somewhere, and we're fine. She was just tired. Someplace. That's not important. I'm not allowed to tell you. She'll fire me. But we're okay. I'm glad that you're okay. I thought everyone would. I didn't know we were in the cabin when everything happened, and
What happened?
It was just like a bright light, and then Nettie grabbed me, and her staff began to glow, and then we were someplace else I'm not allowed to tell you about, or she'll fire me, and now we're back here, and now the ship's gone. Where were you guys? Who are you?
Oh, this
I
is
stick
Alyssa.
my hand out and I say, "Hi, I'm Alyssa. Who are you, and what's going on?"
I'm Nettie's assistant. This is Nettie. She was
It's a weird way to introduce yourself. What's your name?
Well, he doesn't give that out.
Secretive type.
Not that I have know of.
Yeah. But she is, he looks back and she's still kind of leaned against the wall. Her legs are to her chest. She's breathing very deeply. She's just worn out, I think. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. Did anybody else make it out? I saw Hetaru over that way. I
I don't know.
haven't.
We were really I wasn't on the deck. I don't know who made it out. I hope so. You saw Hetaru?
Yeah. I guess we can go over and talk to him. And maybe
Right about, I think maybe a few minutes. Hetaru will fly over at some point. But Nettie will, at that point, when you said we'll go, maybe go talk to Hetaru. Nettie puts her hand on the wall and she says, "Assistant, help me." And he turns and he drops all the shit and yeah. And he turns around and all that stuff like clangs to the ground and he goes over and he grabs Nettie's, his like a silk glove, like goes up to like the elbow. He grabs her hand very delicately and he helps her up to her feet. And he's like really doting. And she says, "It's okay. Darren, I'm so glad you were safe. The captain's over that way. You can get him."
Okay. Go ahead. I'm so glad you're okay. I'm glad.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but who are all of you, and what are you doing here?
Well, we're all members of were members of the Nomad.
What she
And
said.
that is
The
A
ship.
trade vessel for the Blue Defense Division.
The ship that was there.
I don't think that's important right now. Do you?
I think it's very important. Someone blew up your ship. Obviously, they had a reason to.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably. I'll have to consult the cards. Did you get my cards? She says to the assistant, and he goes,
You didn't get the cards?
He turns to me and says, "Shut up." Yes.
And it's gonna kill you.
Maybe. What's up with the prattle? Go get the captain. Someone's hurt. Someone's hurt too. I'm gonna go to the Sky Saucer and get some wine.
Do I know
Once
what
the
the Sky
captain,
Saucer is?
yeah, it's like a nicer. It's the nicest bar that's here. It's more like calling it like a club, not like the club in modern day, but it's like kind of a more high profile establishment. You can't just like, not anybody can just walk in to it. It's probably the nicest one on this level of Grand Rise. She, assistant, pick that stuff up. Come on. And then she starts like walking away, and the assistant, he starts panicking. He starts trying to pick up all that stuff, and he does manage to bundle up in his arms. He says, "Sorry, guys. We'll be at the Sky Saucer. We'll be there. Tell the captain."
Like I can get it in there.
And then he says, "Just say you know Nettie," and he starts like running after her.
If you want to come with me to go get the captain, I can explain a little bit. I don't really know why the ship got blown up, but we
At this point, Hetaru flies down. He kind of lands next to you, and you see him. He comes into your peripheral, and he's kind of haphazardly flying, and he kind of scuttles across the ground, and he kind of catches, and he kind of skips a little bit. His wings are kind of a little fucked up, it looks like. But he has managed to catch himself, and he puts his hand on the wall. Hello.
Heather,
Hi.
do you need healing?
Yes.
Okay,
I think so.
okay.
Ah,
I'll heal you. I'll do a cure wounds.
So you're from the
Yeah.
ship as well.
yes. Yes, I am. It's nice to meet you. I'm Heteru.
I'm Aethra.
10
Wish that I
points.
met you under better circumstances.
Oh, me too. Me too. You put your hands to him. You give him a cure wounds. You hear a little crack in his wing, and he it's better. Thank you. I don't know how where are we?
What? Are you asking? We're at God, what's the place? What's this place called?
See, I don't know either. I think I'm concussed. Then he sits
Oh,
back
no.
down.
Oh boy,
Grand Rise.
Grand Rise. We're in Grand Rise.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
Oh, but we're gonna go find the captain. Why don't you come with us and sit down then?
Can you give me a hand? And he puts
Yeah.
up cold hands.
Do I know where like a doctor would be?
Give me a history check.
Six. I've gotten like 4 2s in this session.
This is brutal. That's why we don't roll on D&D Beyond, man.
The last one I didn't. That
I'm
was
gonna
just a
mail you
Google
some
one.
dice.
I use dice every time, and I roll like crap most of the time.
You got That's what you got to get them clitter clatters, man. That's how you get the good rolls. You don't know. You're trying to think of like a doctor on this level of Grand Rise. You know doctors, but not here.
The way I'm rolling, I might also be concussed.
Did you get hit last session? I don't think you even got hit.
I took damage. I got hit once, I think.
Maybe you got like a nice smack on the head or something. As
I think I
Heteru-
just have sympathy concussion from Heteru.
Heteru, he gets up and that's a good idea. Let's go. And you guys begin going in the direction that Nettie described. She pointed like, kind of around the corner, she almost pointed like through the building that she was standing behind. You go around, you kind of look to the left, and you can see the captain walking towards Leovold, who is on the ground, kind of leaned over a laid down Avriel and a laid down Dave. Well, not laid down.
Oh my god.
Sitting up.
Oh,
And
Okay,
I
okay.
rush over to them.
let's go. Hey, everyone! Are you guys okay?
You run over them.
Captain? Leovold?
Oh my god, what happened?
I'm not entirely sure. I was
Yeah,
finding
seems to be a lot of
parts
that.
for the ship. And then something happened. And I don't know. I saw the cotton laying down. Damien was about to get fucking crushed by the damn mass. It was a close call with Damien, I'm not gonna lie. And he kind of looks down the street. Fuck. I owe that woman a window and some money.
Yeah, I appreciate the help, Leopold. And
Edward.
don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
I
Edberg's standing
want
there.
to check Avriel to see if he's dead.
Yeah, make sure.
He's just
That's
lying
just
there
his personality.
You walk over to he looks dead, and you walk over to him and make you a perception check. As you kind of stand over him, you hear him go like,
He's only dead inside.
Alright,
Oh,
perception
I got
16.
Don't look at me.
I very much keep looking at him.
He puts a hand up like this.
Like this
Girl,
I look at the other. Is he always like this?
fucking
Yes.
every second of every day.
God, so nice.
How old does Avriel look, by the way?
He's young. He's like somewhere between like 18 and early 20s, it looks like.
Okay.
What do you think? I do this, and Abel pulls out a small bottle of hogwash.
At Berg, he says, "Hey, give me that shit."
Oh, don't worry. That's coming to you right after me. And Levo's just gonna look at the captain. What happened? We were gone like 5 minutes.
I don't know. I'm gonna find out. As soon as you give me a sip of that shit, I'm gonna go talk to Hemdall.
Torques it and throws it right at him.
Takes it, pops it, drinks like the whole thing. He goes, "God damn, that's disgusting. That's a new
Well,
low."
the orc gave it to me, so it's not my creation. The orc gave it to me. I gave you the good shit.
Yeah, well, that shit's gone.
Yeah, so is like our fucking home. For some of us, it's the second time.
Hey, I built that shit all by my fucking self.
God, all my journals. I know it doesn't seem like major, but it's like everything I have.
That's the only thing I have.
Well,
Keeping that fucking thing afloat.
why don't we, who's this motherfucker? And he points at you, Alyssa.
Oh, hi. I'm
Good
Alyssa.
fucking question.
What the fuck are you doing here?
You know, I was just having a lovely outing with some of your crew on their time off, and
That was
I
your
heard an
first fucking
explosion,
mistake.
and everyone ran back here.
Mainly a Darren, because we were all doing other shit. Where the fuck is Fasciatus? I haven't seen that motherfucker in a while.
Oh yeah, we lost
Team-
him. Sorry.
He went to investigate the people.
Kind of just
What?
wandered off.
Investigating where the lamp went lit.
Were they the ones that did this?
You let him go by himself.
Actually, did I know that that's where he went? I'm trying to remember.
Wait. So
Oh,
who are the lamp?
Well,
lighters?
you did not know that. He did
Okay,
not.
then I would be like, I have no idea where he is.
Yeah, he told you he had some business to take care of real quick, and then he like really quickly slipped off. He was a little.
Fucking,
He's really cryptic and was like, I got stuff to take care of.
we were
And then
on
we
that.
were attacked.
Heather says,
Somebody
wait,
stole my watch.
wait, Darren, wait. You said that he slipped off?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. He'd be back, I feel. I'm going to go look for him.
No, we're all gonna go fucking do that because he wasn't on the ship, so we know he's alive. He's
We
either
don't know
A,
he
a part
wasn't
of
on the
it,
ship.
Heather
or B,
says, I'll find him. You relax.
Heteru, quick question. Were you like on top of the ship? Like, were you flying around? Like, did you get to see anything?
I was on the crow's nest. And I saw the explosions, and I managed to start flying. When the big one happened, it threw me. But I was mostly okay. I got lucky.
Did you see where the old man and the kid went?
why are you gonna fucking kill him?
Let's see.
He might have a concussion, so he might not be the best source. He
They
forgot
can-
where we were.
I flew up into the sky, and then I did see them. They kind of popped up on some rooftops, and they headed into the center of the district. They ran off to the north.
Who's they? Oh, the
the-
kid. Never mind. Sorry.
Those guys that you were gonna kill.
Well, I was a little on the nose. I don't know if I'm doing that yet, but thank you, Heteru. I
It's
appreciate
still a
it.
possibility. It sounds like.
I'm sorry, what?
I
You're
think
gonna
Long
it-
story short, it's fine. You don't need to concern yourself. It's perfectly okay.
he was going to kill a young child before.
God fucking damn it! Do you just say everything that comes to your mind?
He was maybe gonna kill a child.
He
I'm
said
usually-
maybe,
Why?
not
Why on earth
necessarily a
would
yes.
you do that?
We talked to him.
Edberg says,
You don't-
everybody,
I don't know,
hey, everybody, shut the fuck up, okay? Ederu, go fuck off. Go find Bashiabas. Everybody,
What? He's not going
We're gonna-
anywhere by
we're-
himself.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got a
not.
concussion.
he can fly.
And he flies.
He can fly. Yeah, exactly. So he'll be in the air.
I
And
don't
shit gonna
think-
happen.
And then he'll pass out
I
because
don't
he has a
think somebody with
concussion,
a-
and then he'll fall and die.
I don't think somebody with a concussion should fly.
Well, y'all got to pick, all right? I'm gonna go see Hemdall. The man that we did this delivery for. I'm gonna tell him our ship
Anyone
blew
seen the
fuck, and he owes
Dragonborn?
us a whole shitload of fucking money. And then, I'm gonna get us a new fucking ship. And then, whatever the fuck
That
happens next.
shitload of money
What
gonna
was
give
this
us
delivery? What were you delivering?
fucking
We're gonna
a
roll
lot of
Aether.
stuff. God. You don't have to be so open about it, there, Captain. You know.
It's
You
all
just
it's
say-
all gone.
It was,
It's all gone.
Yeah.
What does it matter now? It flew along with her home.
Because people don't like certain people dealing with that shit.
So y'all gotta you do whatever you want to do. I'm gonna go see Hemdall. You can stick with Heteru and go find Bashiabas.
Has anyone seen the Dragonborn? I forget his name.
Is it the paladin guy?
Yeah, he's like the
No.
Billy Badass.
No, I ain't seen him.
Was he on the ship?
Yeah, he was on the ship. He'll be fine. If everybody else survived, he ain't gonna be dead. Or if Skier, he's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't fucking just ain't gonna be nothing. Ain't gonna help stressing about it.
Swear to the divine.
Well, aren't you chipper?
He has his moments. He really does. That's why I drink all the fucking time. This crew makes me drink.
He's
Hey,
Yeah, I
Speaking
can
of-
see why.
Where?
Understandable, honestly.
Don't you blame me for your shit, okay? You fucking did that shit when I met you.
Yeah, is he always
Alright,
such a
that's
ray of
bullshit.
sunshine?
He really is, and so am I sometimes. And other times, we kind of get into this debate where I pull my gun into his face and his crew surrounds me. It's fun. It's great. That's how we met.
Oh, that does
Anyways,
sound like nice banter.
so what the fuck are we gonna do? Hetero
That's called
is going to
legal.
fly off.
That's called a mutiny. You do one of them again, we'll throw you off the ship. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go find Hemdall.
What ship?
Darren is just like fully
That's a little
sobbing.
too soon there, new person. That's a little too soon. That hurts home right here. I don't have a
Everybody's
home now.
not fighting.
We're not fighting. It's just we're processing the fact we lost our fucking home. Again.
There-
Really loudly.
Now's the time to come together. She's absolutely. Thank you, Darren. Always a fucking well of wisdom.
I feel like that's sarcastic. It doesn't feel like you mean it, Captain.
Well, aren't you astute? Now,
Damn.
what are you guys doing? You going to help Heteru find Bashiabas?
What does it matter? We don't have a home now.
All right, let's get past that part. It's really hard to do. Trust me, I know. Done it. This is round 2, but fucking, we gotta do it. So
I've also
either
lived on there for 2 weeks, so
Oh, a guy with a
8
backwards
years is
leg
kinda
told me
bad.
that he saw a chain of explosions leading up to it. Came from that way.
and you didn't just lead with that.
I've been a little distracted by all the bleeding people and everyone panicking.
Oh, if you're gonna hang out with us, we're gonna be dealing with that a lot, especially looking at. I swear to God, I'm never gonna get his name right because I want to call him Azriel. Avriel.
Yeah, Avriel. Yeah.
Avriel. I'm like, you're gonna be dealing with a lot, especially with this motherfucker around us.
Sounds like a
Shut
party.
up.
Anyway, yeah, chain of explosions coming from over there.
Leopold gets up, fucking loads his shotgun, and starts walking that way.
As you walk over that way, give me an investigation check.
That will be 24 for an actual 20.
Damn.
I'm not proficient though. I'm just smart.
As you're looking around the area, you see a piece of plating that has been like blown out, like it almost looks like a flower. It's just been split open. It's this like kind of brass, just shell. You can see where like the inside's all charred black, and there's a little bit of like a blue kind of dust inside. And you pick it up, and when you pick it up, give me an Arcana check.
Okay, that's more my speed.
I'm like hovering. Watching it.
Like, right over his shoulder.
Actually, I
Dude.
could, with a few levels, I could literally hover, but I can't do that yet.
Okay. Plus 6, that's 24.
You can tell by the residue inside of this shell that this device is some sort of etheric bomb. It must have had like a little tiny bit of refined aether in like some sort of capsule or some other sort of containment device. There's like everything else about it is gone. The actual like containment, all that stuff is gone. All you have is the shell. So you're kind of going off of some like Sherlock Holmes stuff here. But you can see this little tiny smidge of this like super dried, condensed blue dust that is evident of etheric components. It must have had like some sort of strike thing that would puncture an explosive device that would then ignite this refined aether, creating a pretty large explosion. What does that mean for you? It's pretty advanced technology for an explosive device. That's all you would get from the shell that you find.
I mean, it's advanced as the technology that I create.
I would say that you would be like it's on a level where you'd have to have like a nice. The stuff you make is probably a little bit more rudimentary just because of like the tools at your disposal. You could make something like this.
So have I seen something like this in my past? Like
Probably.
this advanced technology?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. He is going to keep the shell then. In the area where I saw it, what is the surrounding area like? Is there corridors? Is it multiple ways someone can walk away, or is it like this is the only in and out?
There is a sort of crater. It's a very clear, so it's on the dock. It's at the edge of the docks. This is where, kind of taking in the scene, it looks like this is probably the outermost explosion.
Okay.
And it's probably about 30 feet from where you found Avriel. And it's got a crater that's about 15 feet wide, perfectly circular, and it's sort of just cleaned the ground out, sort of like the way your boat was, where like everything that was inside of the immediate radius was just disappeared.
So from this area, what is the most, depending, I might have to roll a check, but depending, what is the most advantageous route to take that may not be seen by many folks? Like, what is one route that from this area looks like it's hidden away from paths?
There are a bunch. There's all these little, you're in this wide open space here at the dock itself, but 150 feet to your north, 30 feet behind you, and then probably about 300 feet across the way. 300 feet across the way, there's like the Market Row area, and there's all sorts of very condensed sort of urban structures. And then about 100 so feet away to the north, there are like row homes, and they have a ton of little alleyways and stuff that you're able to see. You can see the small gaps between the houses where it would be really easy. And then behind you, there's all sorts of little down there it's more of like an industrial side of the dock, but back there too, I mean, there's tons of different directions where somebody could.
Am I the only one here, by the way, out of curiosity?
No, Lister's breathing down your back.
I'm just looking at everything you do.
So,
Hey, what's that? What's going on?
well, this is a device to cause an explosion from Aether. You said you came from away. These people went. Which way may that be?
Well, I didn't see them.
I don't care. But which direction did you walk from?
Presumably, I know that, but
Yeah, you would market the market side, so you would like over in the market row side. Which is directly across. You'd be able to communicate that.
yeah, I came from over there. Why?
Okay. So from the, this is gonna be super Sherlock Holmes. I'm talking like Benedict Cumberbatch. From the point of explosion to that entrance to where they walked from, if he walks that, how long of a delayed time is on that?
How long does it take you to get from here to over there?
There, yeah. Because he's calculating like, okay, if this is a timed mechanic, then they had to set it and walk away or run or do whatever they had to do in a safe distance.
I would say that if you were to walk it and you kind of like fast walk it, like you're walking through a crowd, it would probably take you about a minute to get to the market row area, like the entrance. If you were like, you're kind of in your head, like thinking like you're moving through a crowd, you're walking, you're kind of speed walking, but you're kind of impeded. And then you get into the market row and you're looking for like, where is the nearest exit? You see an alleyway, you go to that alleyway, and that's another probably about 15 or 20 seconds. About a minute. It's about a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking. So he walks up to the market way, like entrance to that area, looks down it. So he had to set it for about a minute and a half. He's just talking to himself at this point. These people, I don't really know what the fuck they're doing.
Alyssa's trying to eavesdrop on him talking to himself.
Oh, you can hear him. He's not like in his head. He's speaking out loud. He talks to himself out loud a lot. You said you came from here, this area.
Why does
this
it matter
direction?
where I came from?
Because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck happened to my home.
Yeah, okay. I came from over here.
Thank you. So a minute and a half. You went there, planted it, came back. Do you see anything strange when you and Darren went here in this alley? Anything particular besides a backwards leg man?
I don't think so. I was a little
Give me
distracted by the giant fireball.
Give me a history check, Alyssa.
I clicked it on D&D Beyond, so it's going to take 10 seconds for some reason. Dirty 20.
Oh, nice. You say that to him, you're like, I was distracted by the fireball, but then you remember Darren, that magic coming off of her, and then you remember turning your head and seeing the dude with the cloak running that she tried to cast a spell on. And you're like, wait, that was kind of...
Oh yeah,
in your
Darren
head.
tried to cast a spell on someone. I didn't really think much of it. I guess I was distracted by everything else going on. You'd have to ask her.
Darren, she rarely fucking does that to people. She's kind of a chipper helper. He starts immediately scrounging the marketplace for Darren, and if she's not there, he's gonna go right back to where we all met up.
I feel like Darren's still over with the captain, like trying to get everybody to calm down. After you've left, the captain's more chill, and he's probably talking to a Darren as you walk over.
Did you find anything out? Did you guys?
Okay. Darn, darling. You don't really cast spells on folks, and you kind of forgot to mention that you did.
Okay, yeah. I was kind of panicked.
Granted, I give you thought.
I
Where
saw
and when?
um
Like
I
specific location. The moment you decided to blah blah blah, blah them.
um honestly would I remember exactly where?
I can take you to the area if it helps out. I've already mapped it out that much.
You can do a history check if you want to.
Can I assist because I'm taking her back to the location?
Yeah, give her the help action.
Okay.
At this point, he's a bloodhound. Like Leovold's just like, I'm hunting these fuckers down.
22.
Yeah, so he starts walking back, and you kind of once you kind of get back to like Market Row, he's kind of pointing and talking, fast about like what he's thinking. You remember the alleyway, you see the alleyway, and you remember the cloaked figure, the glinting bell, casting a spell, the magical shield that he had of some kind, and then turning and him in the sort of weird metallic mask and or face and like the glowing blue eyes.
Quick question. So, is this close to where Heteru is also saying that the boy and the old man went, or is this not close yet?
He would have told you. I think at this point, Henry probably has left. He's probably flown off to go start looking for Bashiavis. But he would have pointed towards like the housing district. There is like if you go right, you go to the market area. You go left, you go to more of like an industrial / guilds area. If you go straight, it's just like row homes and apartments and stuff. And they appeared on some roofs. They kind of jumped into the street and then ran north into closer to like the center of this particular level of Grand Rise. So they ran into the housing district and eventually went out of his sight. But he would have known that they went north.
Okay, so I would have talked to Leovold real quick. I'll be like, "Hey, Leovold, I'm pretty banged up right now. Anyway, I'm gonna go look for the."
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go look for the old man and the kid. Once you find out where these guys are, let me know. I'm gonna try to get their help as well, and we can.
Yeah, let's split up. We'll cover more ground that way.
That's a nice idea.
Starts bleeding out of his nose because an aneurysm is fucking building in his head.
Well, you guys are also about to fight people, and I got 1 HP right now, so I mean, we could do that.
So
but-
obviously you should go off alone.
Well, it's a
Alright.
housing district. I don't think they're like aiming for me. I don't know.
You want to go off?
They were going after
Find
our
your
like,
fucking
Imperials
grandpa
and
and child and kill him or do whatever you want. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck blew up our home. Granted, you're kind of a new recruit, but you know what? I understand you don't give a shite about the fucking Nomad or its crew. It's fine. Go do whatever the hell you want to do.
That old man and that kid are the key to my home. So I'm sorry, but I'm just dealing with what I got to deal with.
If you die, you die. I'm not trying to save your ass again for this.
Don't worry about it. I'll be fine.
Maybe you go ahead and start heading in that direction. Leovold, will Darren, you communicate?
Yeah, I would tell him everything that she would remember. There was this guy walking away. I honestly wasn't even like thinking about it when I cast the spell. It was just kind of like he seems weird, and I didn't want to run after him. And then he like looked at me, and his face was weird, and his eyes were weird.
Great. Great descriptions. All right. Where was it? Where was he at when you casted it? How far away?
He was like right in the entrance. He was about 60 feet away from you. He was like 10 feet into the alleyway that Leovold is talking about.
He was like 10 feet into the alleyway.
All right. I've done a lot less. All right. Thank
He
you.
seemed calm at first. He was just walking, and then when
um,
I cast the spell, he started running.
And you would probably mention like that it was like he was like real fast.
Yeah, he was weirdly fast.
Like Damon weirdly fast, or like magically weirdly fast?
Was it like magically weirdly fast, or like monk shit weirdly fast?
I would say it would be too difficult for you to remember if it didn't. It would look like it would be. Didn't look magical. It looked like it was natural for this man creature thing to move the way it did. I will say, well, your perception check on that was pretty good, right? Like you had some good. You managed to see everything during that encounter. I don't remember how good you rolled, but I will say this: when he ran off, his movements were like almost kind of like uncanny. There was like this, like almost like it was like too smooth, where like it didn't look like he was so fast. He was like so I don't even want to say like elegant necessarily, but it was odd the way he was moving. It was almost like the way a person like an old video game when somebody's like he didn't have all of his animations. Like he was like almost like there was a funk to him.
Is it like the Twilight vampires running?
Oh, I
had to go there.
Yeah, it's like that. Like I saw this movie one time.
Right when these are vampires. Vampire.
No more reading for you.
No! Oh, my journals are gone anyway.
Okay.
Great job.
Journals can honestly be replaced. I mean,
no, they can't. They have all my memories.
You don't remember them yourself? I mean, I get blacked out drunk and I remember shit.
I do now. I remember the now, but my memories are complicated.
Sounds like it. I'm sorry. Well, we'll get you new journals and you can make new memories.
Do you
Very
have,
much
a
like I'm going to have to
memory
make a third fucking home.
problem?
I've never asked her, do you? Like, what do we have for supper last week?
What we always have.
Fair enough. Great. So, anyone gonna go with the dumbass Damien who's about to die?
I thought he was gonna kill a kid.
I mean, there's a high probability. We haven't
What
really
is
quite.
what is his deal? What's he doing?
No fucking clue. He's a new recruit. He's only been with the crew
Hell
for
of a
about
first impression.
week and a
Announce
half,
that you're
2
going to kill a
weeks.
child and then walk off.
He doesn't
I
seem
go
to
kill
like
this kid.
me.
I'll be back, guys.
Listen, if you're going to be sticking around with us, we have a very colorful crew, to say the least. Lot of problems, lots. So we kind of just push things aside because we're like, oh, okay, it's fine. You're not really meaning. Oh shit, you're really doing it. Fuck. So we're kind of hoping he doesn't kill the child. He had a pretty good opportunity on the way here because they were on the ship for quite some time. Didn't kill him. So, fingers crossed. Anyways, I'm gonna go find the fuckers that destroyed my home. You're more than welcome to join me. If I can't find them,
I
I'll
gotta
meet you
find
at
out
the
who
then
blew up
bar.
this ship.
Yeah, I wanna go after them too.
So Leopold, what do you? There's this alleyway that this person
Yeah.
ran down.
So, really, I know this is going to only go so far, but he is going to try and gather as much information as possible from where Darren cast the spell, where she saw the weirdness happen. From that point forward, seeing if there's tracks, if there's hidden passageways, doorways, anything, he is going to try and get as far as he can using his brain, trying to calculate the most logical paths.
Give me an investigation check.
Can I help him to give him
Sure.
advantage?
Can I help him? I might be
You
familiar
give
with the
him.
area.
I can only do one help action, but you could offer him if you offer him another help action. You could also give him guidance or bardic inspiration, and if you give him an additional help action, he'll get another +1 to the roll. So the advantage, and then +1 to the result of the roll, and then if you give him, you could also give him bardic inspiration too.
Sure, I'll give him bardic inspiration.
All right, that's good. All right, I'll take the first one, which was there it is.
And is this an ability check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I took College of Creation, if that's all right.
Oh, I love your class.
So he basically gets advantage on the ability check. He can roll the d6 twice and choose the higher, or I guess choose
Nice.
either.
It's advantage on the bardic inspiration.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
That's great.
What's your bardic inspiration die?
It's a d6.
Okay. I never remember which one. I think it starts out at D6, but for some reason my brain's like D4.
Yeah, me too. I do that too. I always think it's a D4.
And that makes sense. It's like the smallest die.
Okay. So bardic inspiration rolled a 5. Die with advantage 19. What is this check? Investigation.
Yep.
That's a +4. So 28.
You step into the alleyway, you start kind of walking down it, you're trying to deduce the situation. You can see in your eyes, your mind's eye, you can see where the person was standing just about when she would have cast a spell. You're kind of standing in his spot. And you kind of look over your shoulder towards the road and you look back down the alleyway. And you take a step forward and then you kind of almost trying to imitate where their path of travel might have been. You kind of start jogging, sort of trying to imitate the same kind of steps they might have taken. And as you're running, your foot touches about maybe 6 or so feet, 2 strides ahead of where you started. One of the stone blocks of this little cobblestone road in between these alleyways, there is an indentation in one of the blocks where it's actually been pushed down and now it's not level. And you go to take your step forward and you touch it and you can feel that indentation, that unlevelness, and it stops you for a second and you look down and you think that's kind of weird. That's in the path of this person's travel. And there's no other stones that seem to be that way. And then you continue to kind of run forward, taking in all this information as quickly as you can. As you go up to the corner, the alleyway splits off. It kind of tees off. There's another alleyway that's slightly smaller ahead of you. It's so small that in order to go through it, you'd have to sideways run through it. And the alleyway that turns to the right is wide enough where you could move down it. And as you go to around that corner, it's really sharp, and you go to kind of put your hand on the wall as if you're moving really quickly, and you use the wall to support your momentum around the bend. And as you go to touch the wall, you see where there is a big chunk of this home. It has cinder block foundation that comes up about 6 feet, and then above that it's wood. And a portion of the cinder block has been ripped away. It's just gone, and it looks like it's pretty new. You look down at the ground, you can see where there's dust and some rubble. So it's it looks fresh. And then you look down the alleyway, this one that runs off down this road. It goes down to a main road that there's there's groups of people that are kind of huddled together in separate groups, and you can hear the chatter. And then you go running towards there, and you see there's an alleyway to your side, another narrow one. And you think I'm running away from the scene of a crime. Do I go to the main road? Do I turn down this alleyway? And you instinctually kind of turn down this alleyway. And as you're going down the alleyway, you see one of the blocking it's kind of jutting out of the house. The house itself the foundation is kind of bowing, and some of these cinder blocks have set off where the weight from everything is pushing down in the center. And one of these cinder blocks is kind of kicked out a little bit, and it's got a nice sharp edge. And you can see there's a piece of black cloth that is hanging off of, that's been ripped off, and you're like, okay, I'm on the right path of travel. So you continue to wade your way down this alleyway. I'm supposing Alyssa and Darren are following you. As you make your way down this side alleyway, you have your hands on the wall. You're kind of having to scuttle down the side. And this thing's pretty long. It looks like it goes down several rows of homes. As you're walking, you see one block that is pushed in. You see another one that is pushed out, and they are just a hand's width. And you go up and you put your hands on them, and you push on the one that is out, and it has some push to it, and you push it in, and the one that is pushed, that was previously pushed in, comes out, and then another block down by your foot comes out too. And I need you to give me, it could be an Arcana check. I'd be okay with that.
Sorry, just taking notes here. Fucking God. Arcana check. 21. No. Yeah. 21.
You push on this, and these two pop out. And you kind of just like curiously you push this one back in, and the one that came out goes back in, and the one that was previously out comes back out. And you kind of let off, and they return to the same way they were before. So you push in on the one that was already out. This one recesses, the one down, or this one comes out, the one down by your foot comes out, and then you push your foot on that one and push that one in, and then another block that is underneath the one to your right that is now recessed. Another block pushes out, and it's a little far away. You can like barely reach it, but you manage to get a finger on it and push that in as well. And then those three set, and then the wall kind of shakes. No dust falls off or anything. And then the stones shift apart, and there is a set of stone stairs that go down.
Oh, hell yeah.
Darren, Lass, this is the moment where you probably need to start talking some rational sense into me, because I'm about to go to an unknown hole and just kill anyone.
I'm also
that's
creeping
there.
towards the stairs.
Oh no, I think we should go down. I want to know. I want to know what happened.
Don't have to tell me twice.
I was counting on you for one moment only. Takes his shotgun out and just starts walking down the stairs.
Start going down the stairs, and they go down a pretty decent bit. They probably go down about 25 feet or so below the city streets, like at level.
Damn.
As you get down here, you are in like, it's not sewers, it's just like catacombs. It's dark for starters, like it's pitch black. There is no light. As soon as you come down to the bottom, there is a turn to the left. The concrete, the cinder block wall is like this either enchanted and or it seems like it's a magical effect, not technological. That closes back up, and once that closes back up, the light that was coming down the stairway disappears, and it's now pitch black. If you don't have dark vision, you can't see. If you have a thing to make you be able to see, you'd want to use it probably. As you guys begin to move down this strange corridor,
I I can't see.
Hang on.
What race is it, Darren?
Can performance of creation
don't
create a
know.
light source?
She looks like an elf.
Fuck!
performance of creation.
I would assume you could see like I can.
You would assume.
Let me see. I'm not too familiar with College of Creation, so let me just check real quick.
It's such a good subclass. It's
Medium.
I might probably have.
but you got those two spells.
It kind of sounds to me like you could make
I can only add one spell at a time now. And like
It sounds like you could make a smaller, medium size. I mean, it sounds like you can make a torch.
Yeah, I'll make a lantern.
Yeah, like a lantern. It sounds like you could make something like that.
And the music that you hear when you touch it is like eerie, kind of spooky music to go along with the theme.
Just in a
You've
haunted
done this-
house.
Gotta
then.
create the ambiance.
As you manifest this magical lantern like into existence with song or word or however you actually go about doing it,
I play my flute.
and this thing kind of just forms from magic, and then like as the magic kind of snaps, there's this little like kind of spark. The actual physical item is now sat there, operative, like it works. As you guys then begin to move down the corridor with this lit, spooky lantern, you travel down this thing. It doesn't have alternate paths. It goes in one direction. It does turn, like there will be there. It turns to the right and then back to the left, and it is generally going in like a northward direction. After about 20 minutes of travel, it turns left and then it continues left for a significant amount of time. You'll probably be walking down it for about 30 minutes. As you get to the end of the left turn, you find yourselves in a small room. I mean, medium-sized room. It's maybe like 30 by 45. It's like somewhat of a rectangle. And in the middle of this room, there is a copper tube that is about probably 6 feet in diameter, and it has a recessed sort of door, and you don't see any immediate like pad or command button or anything on this tube. In the room itself, there is some tubing in the roof that connects to this larger central tube that like kind of shoots off of it in two different directions and then goes up into the floor, or up into the ceiling rather. But besides that, it's just like a bare space. There's nothing in here. It's just this dark open room with this large tube in the middle of it that rises up into the ceiling. It appears to just kind of disappear up through the ceiling.
Can I open the door on the tube?
You go, you feel around for it. Give me perception is fine. It could be Arcana as well.
Let me see which is better. Arcana is better. Okay. I'm gonna give myself Bardic Inspiration. And this is an ability check, so I get advantage. Alright, so that's going to be 8, 13, 17. Yes.
You
17.
feel around. You go to like grab the door and you can't get your fingers on it. It's smooth, very, very smooth, and you can't get your. That was like Trump energy for a second. As you go to get, it's like recessed. You can't get your fingers on it. It's too smooth, and you're not able to pry it open. So you begin kind of feeling around to see if you can find anything like a button, a switch, something. You begin looking around the space itself. You don't see anything, and at one point you kind of get a little bit frustrated as everybody's kind of investigating, and you lean against the copper tube. You kind of put your hand on it, and as you do, you feel a groove in the metal, and you feel like it's kind of weird, and you kind of push on it, and it actually slides, and there's this like kind of hidden plate that slides down, and inside of the side of the copper tube it looks like a hand indentation.
This is so cool. I put my hand into the hand indentation.
I trust it. You put your hand in the hand indentation.
I don't trust it, but I have to know. What else am I gonna do?
We could try Mage Hand first.
You put your hand into the hand indentation.
Oh
Your
yeah, I
hand's a little
probably
bit.
should have thought of that.
Your hand's a little bit smaller than the hand indentation
Damn.
that is on the tube, and you put it there. Nothing seems to happen for a second, and then you hear a click, and then you feel a pain in your hand, and you take
Ugh.
you take 6 points actually of piercing damage. And you pull your
For
hand
fuck's
back,
sake.
and you see that the middle of the hand indentation. Something you it happens so quickly, but something drops back in, and you have a small. You have a little bit of a hole in your hand from something piercing into your flesh,
Well, I'm sure that's
and then
good.
the hand indentation is sitting there still. There was like a center little bit that closes back up and kind of disappears from view. And then you're kind of holding your hand, and you look to see like did it do anything, and the copper tube has not opened.
Are you okay?
Remains to be seen.
Okay.
I guess we'll
Um,
find out.
Can I investigate the copper tube to see if there's any other more hand placements?
You go and look around the tube. Now that you kind of are like aware of what you're looking for, you go and look at the thing that she just got stabbed by. And you go around the sides of the tube, and there is no other hand indentations. I won't even make you roll for it.
Okay, so there's only one. Just kind of like not necessarily grabbing her hand or anything, just seeing it, how much blood is coming out of the puncture wound.
Not a
It
lot.
looked like
It looks like it was pretty shallow.
Okay, so it's just more like a
It looks like
prick.
it was pretty shallow, and the hole from it, it looks like the whatever hit her. It looks like it's some type of pneumatic device, and it just has a really it drives in very hard. It doesn't actually look like it's sharp. It looks like it was actually it probably would have the actual pain itself would have been really fast and probably it would have hurt pretty badly, like because it's not a sharp. It wasn't like a clean cut. This was actually just such a hard, blunt object that it actually did like pierce your flesh, but it wasn't necessarily designed for that purpose. Is what
I'm gonna-
Leopold would give.
Try mage hand, putting the mage hand on where the hand is.
You put the mage hand on where the hand indentation is, and you do see very quickly a slot opens up and some sort of like black piston, sort of like this like cylinder, just very quickly shoots out. Nothing obviously doesn't connect with anything, and it returns
What's the point
inside. It happens very quickly, about a second.
Maybe
And then
they
it-
have like the settings for specific people.
And this setting is just the world's tiniest punch?
Or
Said,
more,
A mana shrimp is inside of the copper tube.
I guess more so maybe that's how they test to see if it's like somebody that
but he said that they were weird and they seemed to be magical in ways.
it was
So-
like if he either had a mask or if like a face of metal and his eyes were glowing.
So he's a robot. Nice. This is getting better by the second.
Darren, I'm sorry, but could you try and see if you're magically inclined and shit happens around you all the fucking time?
Okay. I'll put my hand in.
You put your hand in, and you feel a strange sensation in your palm, and then a moment later, you hear the sound of like the pneumatic device. You hear like a little slight release of air pressure. You do feel it hit your hand, and you kind of like you're like preparing for the pain. You don't feel any pain. You actually feel it sits for a moment. It hits your hand. It kind of sits for a second, and you feel like a little like weird kind of like warmth, almost like some sort of like surge of something, and then it goes back. You feel it disconnect from your skin, and it goes back in, and then the hand begins to glow.
How did
And
you do that?
You take your hand off, and then the copper tube opens up.
I don't know.
I knew it. These fuckers are all. Sorry. We're gonna be fighting a lot of magic users. Just throwing that out there. Be prepared.
I cast Cure Wounds on myself.
But
Are you
Why would it
alright?
for me, but not for Alyssa. She has magic too.
But
I have the magic of song.
Yeah, she has a lovely voice, I'm assuming. I mean, she played the flute lovely to make the fucking lantern come up. But some people in this world just born special, from what I've been told. And you seem to be one of those that fall into that category.
Damien, are you there?
Um, I said originally I was gonna go see the kid and the old man, but now I kind of want to be there. But
No, I mean like, are you here?
oh yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here. I was eating. My bad.
No, you're good. I'm just jumping away from them, so you do your thing. So you separate from them. You go north into the suburban district. There's like people that are in the streets and stuff that are like, kind of standing outside their houses and like, like looking at the shit. And at this point now, some Blue Defense Division ships, like small skiffs, have come down from the higher levels, and the whole area is getting like locked down at this point. They're like they've collected some of the injured people. They've brought down some like magic users that are like low level clerics, effectively, to start like healing these people. And so now they're like putting up like a security ring around the dock area, and there's a bunch of people that are just like on their stoop or sitting on their balcony or on their porch that are like looking down there just kind of watching. You hear people like talk back and forth. There's like a dude who's like, "Oh, I was out here when it blew up. I saw it myself. Yeah, it was crazy. What was you doing?" Another person, "Oh, I missed it. I was just inside when I heard the explosion. My windows shook and I missed it by a second. I can't believe it." And well, you should have been sitting outside with me. I told you. You had to be inside making supper. And then, you kind of hear that all throughout, just people talking about like where they were at, what's happening, what are they doing. But you don't see any sign of the boy and the man. And I will say this, there's like no role they are going to give me that is going to pick up a trail just from like them leaving tracks or something. This old man ain't a leave tracks kind of guy.
Okay. Can you say the last part again? I think you cut out for like the last like 10 seconds.
I said there is no role that you can give me that is going to. You can't roll and get a natural 20 and be like, I found some footprints. This guy, that old dude, he's not leaving any footprints or dropping any items to be tracked. You're going to have to try to think of a different way to potentially figure out where they were going.
So
you do know from Header that they made their way down this strip. It's a very wide road, and it goes down for a very long time. It's like a straight shot into like the heart of this district. When you look up, just so that we are all like aware, right? If you look up, you can literally see the bottom. Like there is not a sky down here. You're looking at like the bottom of the next level. So there's like gigantic like support columns that are made out of like all sorts of like refuse metal. There's like these old like rusting columns, and there's like some newer ones that are being put on. You can see where the steel beams are being sistered together to continue to support this like rotting old bottom tier structure down here. And then the ceiling itself is just like mostly like rusting metal. And there's like occasionally you can see where there's like these like kind of catwalks that are all around the ceiling where any type of maintenance crews can kind of get down in there and go over and like repair a part of the structure that supports the upper levels or supports one of the beams that keeps this level and that level from falling in on themselves. And you can see where this road just kind of goes down for a very long time down into the heart of the city. So you could follow this road for a long time. It'll probably take you about like 2 hours at a run, not walking, to go from here to the middle of this particular level of Grand Rise. And this is just literally like, this is like Main Street. This just goes right down Central Avenue, goes right down into the heart of the city, which means that what I'm trying to say is that if they took this road to get down to the central strip of the city or into the heart of the city, there's not really any cover.
Wait, so there's no cover here? Or are you saying until they get to Center City?
From where you are, unless you run for the next 2 hours to know what's at the middle of the city, there is nowhere for them. If they ran this way, Connor, some of these people might have seen them. God damn it! Holy fuck, man, you're killing me. I'll just come out and say it. I'll be right back. I gotta take this phone call. I'm gonna get a water too because I'm sweating my butt off. I'll be right back. Let's take 5 real quick. Sorry, I'm doing.
So spitballing. I don't think I'm going down this path anymore, obviously, because I'm not running for 2 hours. Fuck that. Is there a way I can find you guys at this point, or are you guys like in the thick of it?
Oh, I think we're 30 feet below the surface of where you're at. We're miles. We're walking 20 minutes one way, 30 minutes the other.
Yeah.
Like, unless you can find some secretive hatch or something, I think it's literally a gunslinger, a sorcerer, and a bard fighting the Thieves Guild of magic users.
I didn't know they were all magic users.
Neither did I.
I really wish I did, because that's like my whole point. And it's just like, damn. I should have.
Like, the fact that Judy's character pressed her hand in and nothing happened, I was like, what the fuck? That make no damn sense. And I know if I put my hand in there, ain't shit gonna happen. I shoot people. So I'm like, all right, we only got one option. So I was like, Caitlin, you're a sorcerer. If it doesn't open for you, we gotta turn back around. We're just SOL.
Yeah, it might have. Like, I didn't think that this was like their lair. I thought you guys were gonna get information, then I was gonna come back. I should have just went with you guys.
Neither did I. But the elaborate fucking maze that I went through to get here, I was like,
you're making assumptions.
I was like, oh, we are getting really deep.
But quick question, Peyton, because like I knew where they were going, right? Because I talked to Leovold, and he kind of like told me a little bit where he was going.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have more movement than all of them. Would I
Then
be
all
able
of
to?
who?
What?
Then all of who?
I think everyone. I'm a monk, so I think I have more than everyone.
He has like 35, 40 feet right now.
Do I
Of
get
all
plus
your-
10 or plus 5? But I can also
Plus-
use Step of the Wind too sometimes just to add more movements.
Well, you might have you have to check. You might have 40 feet of movement at this level. I don't remember.
I'll check.
Your race has 30 speed, so then whatever is your bunk movement.
It's plus 10. Yeah, I got 40.
I mean, you can just kind of run down this central avenue. Step of the Wind ain't gonna last. Step of the Wind will help a smidge, but it's not gonna help enough
Oh no, I
to
was
get
talking
you there. Like,
because I thought that like I kind of know where they're going. I kind of know where they're going at this
Yeah.
point. I wanted to kind of like circle back and try to find Leovold if that's possible. And I was asking if I maybe could catch up to them, but I don't know if that's possible.
so like counterintuitively or counter, go back in time and say that you're kind of with them.
Well, I was saying I would run after them. Just maybe I can't. I don't know how far away they are, but I was just asking if I could.
Well, if you ran, when you told them at the front of the alleyway, I'm going to go find them, that old dude and the kid, then you ran to the street, looked down the street, and was like, okay, well, that's really far, and I get it. I see where they were running to, and then ran back. You would have been able to catch up to them before they went into the hole in the wall.
Okay, I would have done that then. Because like I kind of just wanted to see where they were going. I wanted like a general location of them.
Yeah, well, then you are with them when Adarin touches this thing. It lights up, and the tube opens.
I don't think it could get possibly worse from this point on. So, are we sure we all want to do this? Because I'm getting ready to kill someone for destroying the home.
I just want to know what's going on. I don't think we can find that out without moving forward.
Well, Darren, Lass, they blew up our ship. So I don't think this is going to end in words.
I mean, maybe we could try and at least keep one of them alive so we can ask them questions. I mean, what if this was just a job that somebody else paid them to do?
Then I'm going to make sure they never do the job again.
Yeah, but then it's somebody else is still going to be after us or after the ship or...
No. If this was an assassination, this was poorly planned. Like, we were all gone. Captain was off the ship, mostly. I mean, this was a target for our cargo.
Breaking Bad reference. This is all about me. No.
I am the one that knocks. Listen, there's a group that the Lamplighters. I've heard of them. They're not really big on Aether, and the people that work with it, deliver it, transport it, do anything with it, really. Now, when we docked, I noticed a blue light shine in the distance. Dashiell just kind of gave me a look. We had a bit of words. I didn't think he'd actually go fucking looking into it by himself. So, if this is the Lamplighters or something bigger, this is probably the only shot we got to walk out. And if anyone's wanting to do that, no ill will. But I've lost 2 homes now, and it quite frankly pisses me off.
I know that was the only home I've ever had.
They blew me in my only ride home, so or almost did. So I'm here with us. These guys need to pay.
Los was like, yeah, it's Tuesday.
What are you guys up to?
Sure, fuck it, I'll do it.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. No, she's kind of like visibly kind of angry, but not in the same way as the others, as like Leovold is angry. But she's like almost kind of desperate, and she's like, well, what else am I gonna do?
I don't know. I just fucking met you today, like literally like 30 minutes ago.
You
but-
show up, you're in a weird ship, you're weird people, then your ship blows up, and now you're saying that might not even be connected to anything else. But it's not like I have any other options, so I guess I'll go with you.
Alright. Oh, okay. I mean, fuck it, let's go then. I mean, not getting any younger.
Quick question. How
Uh-huh.
do we know that you're not in the Lamplighters?
Oh.
This is a magic area that we're in right now. How do we know you're not in there?
Door didn't work
I'm a
for her.
bard, not a wizard.
Oh, is it only wizards? I thought it was just Matt. Like, if so,
I use the power of song.
Yeah, and wizards use the power of knowledge, and artificers use the power of technology, and our lovely Adarin here is just special.
I don't know why people keep saying that.
You opened the door.
You don't have a lot of evidence fighting against it for you, so like.
So Leovold, like the one question I have is though, then what's Avriel? He still stumps me.
He's an annoying fucking bastard.
Do none of you people know anything about each other?
Well,
No.
I know a little bit about Adarin. I mean, she's pretty good in a quick punch when shit needs to get fixed. Damien here, not a fucking clue. And yeah, some of the crew members, we kind of just keep to ourselves, get shit done when we need to.
Well, that's another reason
Well-
I'm here. I talked to Bashibus a little bit. He's a little bit of a friend of mine, but we got to
Finding
be.
these people might lead me to some people that I'm looking for. Or if
Oh.
not, at least I might get a ride on a fucking ship out of it.
That could
Hopefully one that doesn't explode.
no promises.
Too soon.
So, you guys get in the tube.
Fucking Wonka Vader, let's go.
I cast
get in the-
invisibility and get in the tube.
You turn invisible.
I cast
You and the group. I cast shotgun. You get in the tube
Pass pew pew.
as the door closes. You can hear it kind of hiss as like a pressurized something happens and like the air is sort of released, the door locks, and you feel it begin to ascend. It starts going up, and it keeps going up. It keeps going up, and it keeps going up. And you rise up, not very fast. It's not moving like incredibly quickly, also, for the
Well,
record.
this is anticlimactic.
Yeah, you guys are standing there.
This is like the slowest fucking roller coaster.
There is no elevator music. It's just quiet.
Oh
It
no, there
rises-
is elevator music because I'm playing elevator music.
Just creepy.
This is the creepy elevator music.
You're creeping.
That's
You're
true. It
invisible.
still has to be on theme.
and you're
And
invisible.
someone is still holding the lantern, so there's a little bit of a cacophony going on.
So, but you guys rise up for about 30 minutes before you feel the tube kind of stop and settle, and then you hear the, and then the door, and ahead of you, there's a little bit of like this kind of like a dim kind of glow coming off of the tube itself. Like it has like a little bit of like this like magical energy that's kind of illuminating, like about maybe 5 feet around the tube itself. But ahead of you, dark, and you step out, and as soon as you like take a step, even when you step, there's like an echo. You could hear the sound of your step. You're in like a very large, dark space. You put the lantern out, and I'm assuming the lantern's probably like 60-30 or like 30-15 or something like that. I'll say for now, it's like you got about 60 feet of vision. You kind of hold it out, and you guys just kind of start at first just sort of like trying to figure where the fuck are we. So you start walking just like in a direction. You just kind of pick one way to go and start walking in that way. And as you walk, you get about maybe 40 feet until you eventually see a wall. And the wall, it looks like it's metal, maybe like iron or something. It's kind of like almost, it's like got a little bit of like a corrugation to it. There are large steel beams that run up the side, 2 of them in the immediate area of the light. And as you kind of hold the light up to like kind of get up to like a roof of some kind, it looks like it's too high for the light to actually illuminate the ceiling. But about 60 feet up, you see a sign, like this rusty kind of, it looks like it's dilapidated. It's kind of fallen off of the corrugated metal wall. A sign that's like words, and it says Blue Gear on the side of the wall.
I'm sorry. Blue Gear?
Yeah.
As in the like corporation thing that
Yeah.
Dude was telling me not to do or work with?
Yeah.
The fuck?
I assume I know what this corporation is.
Yeah, when you see a sign for Blue Gear, it's like one of the larger, it's like the largest corporation in Grand Rise in the world, maybe. And I mean, Leovold of all people, but they said they sell like home, they sell weapons, they sell like convenience items, like they try to make like techno magical stuff for the home, for everyday life. They advance
your bread and toasted too.
Yeah. And they're a very dominant force. And Leovold, I'm not gonna make you roll because you would know this. Your delivery of Aethra was for Blue Gear. It was for the president of Blue Gear. It was for the man who was on the Archipelago Council.
Yeah.
which is Hemdall, the man that the captain went to go see.
Does this place look abandoned?
It looks abandoned. Yeah. As you begin to continue to explore it, you eventually do see some like old containment pods of some kind that are against the wall. Some of them are broken, and then some of them are like in a state of disrepair. And there is like, they're just kind of black. You can't really quite see inside of them to see if there's anything in the containment pods. They're stacked against one wall. There's like a whole bunch of them that kind of go down, maybe 15 of them. And then as you continue to explore, you would find like a factory line that goes for a while, and it's like just like messed up. And you can see where there used to be other structures in here at one point. You can see where like the old rusted footprint of some sort of like, some sort of piece of technology that was here that was doing something. But there's this old factory line sort of situation. You can see weapons. Very, very simple, not Aether-based weaponry, just very simple powder-based rifles that are in a line. And they were in, at this point, they're probably no good. They're very old.
So this looks like an old factory that we're in, but we're under something at the same time.
You're inside of an old factory. If you continue to explore it and not go back and like get in that tube and say whatever,
I'm exploring.
You would eventually. It looks like the whole thing's been stripped out for the most part. There's like a few odd items that like are still here, and you can Leovold. You'd be able to see spots where like there used to be dividing walls. Like you're kind of mapping the space in your head where you can see like there was like the observation. There's like an old observation deck that you pass by that is all in a state of disrepair. You can see where there like used to be walls that were like dividing walls that have been torn down, and you can see where there was at one point more shit in here. But for the most part, it's like 90% just empty floor, and then just walls, and that's it. You eventually would come to the exit. Unless you were to
Okay,
just
well.
keep looking around here, fucking with anything.
We're not going to take that contraption back down, are we? Just out of curiosity.
Contraption? You mean the assembly line?
No, the copper tube that we rode up in for fucking ages. We're not going to take that back down, right?
I mean,
Wait,
I
I
assume
don't know.
we're gonna keep going until we find the
Something?
people. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to put it out of commission real quick. He's going to put 2 blasting powders into it.
Come on, why you gotta break it?
You it is closed, so Darren would have to touch it again to open it.
It's so cool. Don't blow it up.
It's a way they can get in and out easily. If we destroy it, then they can't use it again.
We don't even
Or at
know
least
who
they
they
have
are.
to take the fucking time to fucking fix it. Well, no one's here for me to shoot, and I really want to fucking destroy something, and this is the only thing that remotely.
All right.
Also, and if they find us too, I don't think they're gonna be happy. We're in their base, so.
You touch it, it opens
They're
back
gonna
up.
find us a hell of a lot faster if we're putting
Leovold, you throw a
explosions off.
couple.
Yeah.
You throw a couple explosives in there. It closes. You hear it, and then you hear the noise of like careening. It just sounds like metal against metal. It goes down, and eventually you hear it stop.
Everybody copes with their trauma differently. Some people like to blow shit up.
I'm just like mumbling to myself.
It's pretty common
He
for
find a
Leovold.
secret passage in this godforsaken city, and he just has to get rid of it.
This is perfect for me. As you guys go towards the exit of this structure, you find the exit door. There is like a big bay door that is closed, and if you were to try, you could give me an athletics to try to open the bay door, but there's literally like a fire kind of escape sort of door that is to the left of that on this sort of raised platform. And you push on that, it would open. And as soon as it opens, you're kind of blasted with like neon light as you find yourself on the second level. So you were 1 level below the very top level of Grand Rise in the floor that most people call Aurora. Aura Vale. It's got a couple different names, but it's mostly called Aurora. The ceiling here is pretty low. There's only about like 20 feet between the floor and the top. And it's very condensed, neon lit at all times. There are like these copper tubes that are just pumping aether throughout this particular level of the city. And it's sort of like this like seedy underbelly of the upper floors. Like all the rich folk come down here to party. And it's very tight. So as soon as you come out of here, there is probably about 10 feet in front of you, just like structures. And most of the structures go floor to ceiling. This structure that you're in, that you were previously in, seems to kind of actually, you look up and it actually rises up into the ceiling itself, which is a little bit odd. But some of these structures do that. But most of them go to the ceiling of this floor. And it's very claustrophobic. As soon as you come out, you see a couple, like there's some people like walking by. There's some people sitting out in front of some businesses. There is like a bunch of food shops just like in a line right in front of this old beaten down factory. And then to the left of the factory, when you look to the left, there's like a lot. And there is just like a bunch of people in this lot like hanging out. And then to the right, there's just like this wrapping just row of businesses, shops, bars, inns, etc. And then there's this constant hum of like aether just pumping to keep this place alive.
Would I
But
be
you don't
familiar
see
with
any.
this area?
Maybe that'd be. I would say it's up to you. It's usually pretty. It's like kind of expensive up here. But it would be like this would be a great place for
I mean,
a bar
if you're a guest,
to meet at. Yeah.
if you're the entertainment. Do I know what the old like factory is? It sounds like it's kind of like a centerpiece for the area.
Give me a history check.
History check. Hang on. Oof. That's gonna
much
be a
do you
nat 1. So
Oh, shit.
total 5.
You haven't rolled like anything all night.
I got like a couple dirty 20s.
I'll say that I was going to say before you roll that this can be a degree of success roll, which means that for every 5 above 1,
Oh, great.
Something. So at like a baseline of like you are aware that this thing exists. You've heard like a story about the factory that like a while back before this place really started to be industrialized in the way that it has. It used to be sort of like the heart of Blue Gear. It was like the first Blue Gear factory where they made like some of the first ships, some of the first weapons for the BDD. But you heard that there was like some kind of accident in the factory, and then they had to shut it down, and they were kind of like hush hush about it. And then above that, because you did manage to get a 5, so you do know one additional thing. Some people said that the Blue Gear tried to say to the public that there was a fire and the damage was so great that they decided to just say screw it, and they just moved their facilities to the very first floor. Some people say that that's bullshit and that they were doing something in there. The rumor mill, like the crazy old man on the corner will tell you that they were like making clones or something. The clones went crazy, killed people.
Interesting. If nobody else does anything, I'm just going to investigate the factory some more.
I mean, we're at the exit of the factory, correct?
Yeah.
Standing more or less on the precipice of like this underbelly area of Grand Rise.
Yeah, you're right below the very top level of Grand Rise, which is the very top level is where the Aethra Academy is.
Yeah.
It's where the Flying Gardens are, which is like Hemdall's thing. And then it's where like everybody who's at the tip, political figures, people that like own businesses, the very tip top of society is all up there.
Do we get this? Do we see any other patrons or any like other people around us? Are they close by within like 20, 30
Yeah, as you
feet,
come
or
out
are they
of
like
no, like you're in this very tight from the factory door where you came out. The strip that you're on is probably about 15 feet wide, and just ahead of you, you see an elven dude who's kind of like leaning on a counter of some sort of food shop, like the open bay. He's leaned there, and there's like high top tables, and they're set. It's like kind of fancy. There's like this blue glow coming from inside. There's a whole bunch of patrons in there. A couple people kind of look your way as you like come fumbling out of this factory. And to your left, there's an empty lot that must at one point been a part of this factory that's just empty. And there's a whole lot of people that are in there, and they're just kind of like standing around, hanging out. You can see on the far end of the lot now, there's like, it looks like it's been turned into like almost like a beer garden.
Oh my heaven. Level just kind of looks over at Darren. If you recognize a strange figure at any point, do not hesitate to let me know.
Okay.
Appreciate it. This is probably where the party splits because Leovold is going to continue to walk out into the.
You're going to the beer
underbelly.
garden. I'm gonna go get a drink. No, wait. So you're in this. So it's like this one road. So the way this underbelly is, there are like all of these narrow roads that kind of they go in circles. So this outer ring
Is it like a
really
parking
long,
garage?
sort of, but there's no difference in levels. Like this
Okay.
is higher or lower. The ceiling is only 20 feet above you. So you can look up. There is no sky. There's just like this neon lit ceiling that's directly above you, about 20, 25 feet. And then in front of you, there's just walls, floor to ceiling structures. A lot of these structures will be like bottom floor will be like an inn or a restaurant or some other type of business. And then directly above that will be like housing. And that just will go on literally for the entirety of a ring that goes around the whole outside of this particular floor. And the way Grand Rise is shaped, it's kind of like it gets like narrower at the top and then it kind of bulges in the middle, then it kind of goes back down at the bottom. So this floor is one of the smaller levels of Grand Rise, but to go around the entire ring would probably still take something like 4 hours. And then there are more roads in. They get more and more narrow as you get closer and closer to the very center. And at the very center, there is kind of like one of these copper tubes that goes up to the first floor. And you'd be able to actually, I mean, from here you'll be able to see it because it's just wall to wall fucking, shit. And there probably are at certain points some stairwells and stuff that go up as well to the first floor around just randomly stumble upon.
Yeah.
For the most part, you could just walk for, I mean, not forever, but for 4 hours. And there are diverging roads that take you into a closer ring so that you can keep kind of going closer and closer into the heart of this level, which is Roar.
Yeah, he'll start. At least Leovold will start walking towards the gardens area just to, since it's the most populated, he is going to go down there to see if he can't find anything out about what happened.
Damien's
Alyssa,
on
you
the
go back. Alyssa, do you go back into the factory?
No, I can explore that anytime, so I'll stay with the party.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Taliva, when you go into the gardens, there is like this tube that kind of runs around the side, so it's got this like kind of pink purple glow. The aether that's running through it kind of undulates with some sort of like chromatic light magic that keeps it changing colors so that the space never gets like boring. It's like blue, then red, then pink, then yellow, then green. And the whole space is lit up that way. And there are just like pockets of people kind of just hanging out. And on the far end, there is like a stage kind of thing, like in the back left corner, which is like the farthest point from where you enter into the garden. And then against the back wall of this lot, which backs up to just more row buildings, there is like a pretty large sort of bar set up. And behind the bar, there are several bartenders that are like pretty fucking busy. There's two elven women that are probably in their like early 20s, and there's one older dude who looks like he is like maybe like he's the guy, like he's a little bit hairy. He looks like he might be like a bugbear or something, but he's a little bit kind of on the fairer side for a bugbear. And then the patrons are a mix of all different types of peoples. None of them would go out of the way to address you. They would definitely just kind of like wade. You'd be wading into like just a bunch of throngs of peoples.
Yeah. He knows how Darren does in fucking public spaces.
Oh, Darren is probably freaking out.
Yeah, he's gonna make his way to the bar, order a couple drinks, but he's gonna try and get the bugbears' attention instead of the younger ones. He's thinking, been here longer, looks older, like potentially knows more.
You eventually get his attention. He comes over to you and hey, how you doing? How can I help you?
I'm doing quite fucking terrible if you really want to know, but I could use some drinks. And can I get like something slightly just to knock the edge off, like a beginner drink? Because I have a friend, she doesn't really like this, so like I'm just trying to calm her down.
How many of you are there?
4, but I want something fucking strong.
I'm currently invisible.
I'll get you 4 crackles, and then some meads. That sound good to you?
Yeah, fuck it, sure, why not?
He snaps. He goes back. You see him mix something in a shaker. He mixes it up. He pours out 4 shots. He brings them over to you. They're kind of like literally popping. Puts out those 4 shots, and then he puts out the 4 meads. That'll be 7 silver.
Damien will come up and just throw gold on the table, and you'll look over at Leovold and be like, I'll be honest, I borrowed a little bit of your beer, and I drink with the kid a little bit. This will be some payback for that. Sorry about that.
He cocks the gun.
Bartender takes it. He has this like kind of apron on. He puts it in the pockets. Thank you. Enjoy. And then you see somebody down the way that's kind of calling to him, and he starts moving down that way. He starts serving them, and he's kind of bouncing around. If you want his attention for more than a second.
Yeah, no. First, no, alcohol is priority for Leovold because shit's not going good in his life. He is going to take the crackle shot, see what fucking happens.
You take the crackle shot. As soon as it touches your tongue, it's like it's got this popping thing, and then that you really quickly swallow it. Your tongue kind of tingles. That almost like numbs your mouth a little bit, and you immediately feel this like kind of this upper effect. And then as it goes down, this really strong warmth in your gut. But it was really smooth, almost kind of sweet, like kind of like lemony almost. But it perks you right up.
Yeah, I don't think she's quite ready for that, so I'll take hers.
You just want me to take another one.
Yeah, he will. I mean, he doesn't want Darren to fucking deal with that. That would be that. Oh, he's not ready to deal with a Darren that drunk.
You take another crackle. You feel your mouth go like at this point. Your mouth is like you're kind of like you got that deep warmth in your gut. You get from drinking both those crackles, you get a +2 to perception, but you do have to give me Constitution too.
Okay. Take the drinks to the party where we are missing someone because they're fucking invisible. Constitution save is dirty 20.
Nice, you're good.
Gives Darren the mead. Sip it. I don't know how it tastes, honestly. It could be like shite, but hopefully it's not.
It's pretty good. I mean, I don't know if you like beer or not, but it's sort of like a citrusy. It's not like sweet, I mean, it's beer, but it's like a citrus mead. It's not like a honey mead or something. So it has a different taste to it. It's a little bit sweet. It has like a little bit of tang to it. And it's good. It's good. It's not bad. It doesn't taste like shit or anything. It's fine.
It doesn't make me want to do whatever the other drink did to Avriel, so that's good.
That's amazing. It's perfect. We're on the right road. We're gonna keep track. You like mead and other stuff. Right. So, game plan, honestly, no fucking clue. Let's kind of split up and we'll converge back to the bar after we figure out what the fuck's happened and if people know things. Because I'm at a loss now.
So what should I ask for? I haven't heard any descriptions on like who we're looking for.
Fucking strange, weird guys. That's all they got. But really,
And she did say that. She was like, he was weird. He's a weird guy.
I'm a pale guy with horns and white hair. I think they'll just.
the fucking
In the
explosion.
city, weird
That's
guys
it.
are a dime a dozen.
His eyes are glowing, and it was like he had a metallic face or a metallic mask on his face. He had a cloak hood up, but he's also trying to do sneaky stuff, so maybe he doesn't have a cloaked hood anymore.
Okay, I'll see what I can find.
What are the odds anyone here even saw him? How long has it even been?
Like 2 hours.
Alright. Since I'm still invisible and don't want to waste the remaining however many minutes I have, I'm gonna like eavesdrop on some conversations rather than engaging with people.
You're kind of like a little bit of a wallflower. Give me, it could be investigation or it could be perception. I think either one would be fine.
Investigation is much better.
Yeah. Wait. You're invisible. You don't get any advantage for that. For perception or
All right.
investigation. I was thinking, like, how can I help this situation? What did you get?
I'll use
You can
the
give yourself
Google
bardic
dice.
inspiration.
I only have one left. I don't want to use it. But because I have a really good investigation bonus with advantage, I can have 17.
So you're going around the space. You're trying to like see, like, you listen to a couple conversations at first, and it's just people talking about bullshit. It's like high elven noble women talking about the dude they're cheating on their rich husband with, and dudes talking about messed up stuff. Like, that's not what I need. So you're kind of looking.
I'm like
around
still
the
writing
space.
that down though, just in case I want it later.
I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket.
Hey, a lot of things can make a good story.
But you kind of eye up the space looking for like shadier individuals, and you see a couple people that are in the back. It's like 6 people that they have, like, you can see that beneath like their street clothing, you can see like a bit of like leather armor and stuff like that. One of them is there's like a orcish dude with them who looks pretty rough, and then there's like several of them are humans. There's one halfling, and then one person that is like maybe like a look like they're like maybe like a half lizard folk or something. They have like some scaled bits and some fangs and stuff, but they're not like a full lizard. And they're talking in the back corner. And they look kind of stressed out. And you go over and start listening to their conversation. And one of the humans, this middle-aged dude, he's kind of gruff. They're kind of yelling. He quiets him. Says, "Look, we're all freaking out, but we're not gonna. They're gonna put it on us, but we didn't do it. We didn't do it. We didn't want to blow it the fuck up. We were gonna steal the Aether. That's what the fire starter said. He didn't say blow it up. We were gonna wait. They weren't gonna move. It was like 1,000 pounds or something of it. We were going to wait at night, and then we were going to take it all. We didn't do it. They're going to, and then the orc says, they're going to use it as an excuse to kill us. They're going to kill us. That's what they're going to do. They're going to use it as an excuse to wipe us out. They've been waiting for something, and it wasn't coming, so they just made it themselves. That's what this is. It's a setup. That's what it is." The guy says, Rash, you're probably right. You're probably right. It probably is a setup. But we're going to have to just lay low. So I don't want to hear from any of you guys again for like a month. I'm getting the fuck out. If anybody says anything about me, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out of it. And Rash, the guy gets up. He starts walking away, and the orc's like, "Wait, come on, don't, hey!" And the dude like walks off, and then the rest of them kind of keep talking about, "Are you sure I got a letter that said that we were going to do something big? Like, is this the big thing we were going to do?" And then the orc usually would chime in like, "No. I know what we was going to do. We wasn't going to do that. That's too much." And then you start getting to the end of your invisibility. You're like, okay, I'm gonna pop up all these motherfuckers. So
I'm just gonna saunter away before I appear out of nowhere. And is there anything that identifies them as like lamplighters?
not on your check that you get it, not on that 17, that you don't have like an immediate. You have to do a little bit more work, but
They're just
we're coming to the
shady,
end of this.
and I happened to see lamplighters earlier, so
Yeah, you don't see like an insignia on their chest or something. They were just shady folks, and you happen to roll high enough to
why
be like,
can't
those are
people
some
have
shady.
insignias on their chests? It'd be so much
Yeah.
easier.
Please advertise your criminal organization.
Yeah, I need to know your affiliation.
Advertisement is important, okay? You gotta get the word out.
So that's where we'll end the session, and I will see you guys next week as we dig into this thingamabob.
I feel bad for this Rash dude because he's about to have a real bad time. This motherfucker's gonna lose a hand.
Rash is about to get his whole day fucked up for no reason.
More or less, yeah.
As I hear them talking, I'm like looking around for Leovold to see if he's like about to kill them.
I don't know about him.
You see
No,
me
yeah.
and
Still
Leopold
just keeping an
looking
eye
at
out.
him, like-
Damien and Leopold are just staring at them from across the bar. Leopold cocks his shotgun. All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna head out of here.
Enjoyed the con.
Intrigue, drama. We'll see how we'll see what happens next week. Also, Bashiabas has been kidnapped, by the way.
Oh no!
Way to spoil
it.
That doesn't change
See you later,
my
suckers.
plans to fucking shoot someone. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
You guys.
Alright, yeah, bye.
See you
See
later,
ya.
fellas, lads and lasses.